Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Loewenwood Forest Homeschool. I'm Andrea. So here I am in the Northern Ontario Boreal Forest, and here we do forest homeschool. So we obviously try and spend as much time out in the forest as possible, but we still need to get our book learning done. And so I wanted to share with you our schedule. I've got it all written out. Of course, schedules tend to change. That's the lovely part of homeschool, is the flexibility, but also maybe the difficult part sometimes is because you have that uncertainty of the year's gonna go. You never know starting out how it's gonna look. So I'm gonna start off with our schedule. So we are going to be starting school at 8:30, and at the very beginning of the day, that is when we are going to do story time. That's when we do our read alouds. We're going to do O Canada, we're going to have school songs, and we're going to count to 100. And we're going to try and do that outside if possible. So this is my great big stack of read alouds. We may get through them, we may not. I may change my mind about some. Some I'm super excited for. So these ones here are Beverly Cleary, Henry Huggins. We've been reading this series. There's quite a few of them. We also have a Little House on the Prairie series. I found this at the used bookstore. I'm so excited about it. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. And what's nice is it's made for children. So each page has an illustration. I think it'll just help hold the kids' attention, but it's an adventure story, so I think they're excited about it anyway. I have a few other books here. Patty Woodlawn, I haven't read, but it is a Newbery author winner. A Little Princess, I also haven't read, but it's by Frances Hodgson Burnett, a well-known story. We've got The Secret Garden, also by the same author. That's a well-known story. Those are the books we'll be working through for our read aloud. And then, of course, like I said, O Canada, school songs, and sometimes just songs that we sing, like the alphabet song. And sometimes I make them up, so songs about the provinces of Canada, and you can see that right up here. It's just a short little video of a song I made up to help the kids learn. And once we're done sort of that morning routine time, again trying to do it outside if we can, we will actually be playing outside. So we might not, if it's too cold, especially in the coldest parts of winter, we'll just do our playing outside here. And then after we've done our hour of exploring and fun outside adventures, more on that later, then I need to come in, put the baby down for her nap, and then the kids will get into writing. You can see here, this is when Caralynn does her shows. So for Caralynn, I have tons of DVDs, a lot of Leapfrog DVDs, and she just chooses whatever she wants, and it holds her attention for an hour. It's fantastic. So then what the kids and I will be doing is they'll be doing their writing books. So they each have a handwriting book that is appropriate to their grade level. So we'll be working on that. They could also do a drawing. They could also do creative writing. It just depends what needs to be done, and they'll do it during that time period. So I will mostly be busy with baby and probably with Caralynn, getting her settled, and so the kids will be doing a lot of this writing on their own. And then once we've done our writing, we roll right into snacks. So I'll just give it to Caralynn while she watches her shows. The rest of us will snack at the table and continue our schoolwork. So we'll be doing either French or English, and so I'm not sure if we're going to do it every other day or do French for a whole week, then English for a whole week. It'll really depend on the kids and how they're able to, if they're able to just like switch from language to language, or probably what we'll end up doing is maybe 3 days of French and 1 day of English, something like that. The English I like to use is from the Complete Canadian Curriculum, and what I like about their English is that usually there is a portion for reading. They answer the questions, sort of like a reading comprehension, and then they learn something in English. So for this would be adjectives and adverbs, and then there's some little activities, and so that is a unit. And so if you do 1 unit a week, then you easily get through the whole book in your year, and it just continues on like that. So we'll do English in here. For French, they each have their grade appropriate book, and it's mostly grammar, but it is some French writing as well, and so it'll just look like this. And so I'll just have them we'll try a page a day, but we'll see how well they do. And then right after we do our language, then we'll roll into reading. So this will be a bit of a break and a bit of play, although that's more for Evalynn because she won't do a lot of reading in this period. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help Evalynn read, then Brooklynn, and then Jackson. That's why I've written them in that order. So for Evalynn, we'll be doing the Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. I've heard by the end of this book, they'll be at about a grade 8 reading level, so obviously we won't go quite to the end of the book with her. She's only in SK, senior kindergarten. So we'll be doing that, as well as these wonderful readers we got from Scholastic. And for the big kids, I have these books called l'heure de la lecture, which means reading hour. And so it's just a bunch of stories that is appropriate to their grade level. And I also have a workbook, so where you read and you answer questions, except that it's in French. So very similar to the English, and you read it. And then there's reading comprehension questions, and so we'll be doing that. And then after we do reading, we'll have a little bit of break. So if they finish any of their reading, they can have a break, or depending on the kid, they might need a break right after they do their schoolwork up here. We'll sort of work a break in to see how that goes. And then down here we have math at 11:30, and Caralynn will just play with blocks or Play-Doh or whatever at the table while I do math with the older kids. Math is very easy for kindergarten. It's mostly counting and some simple math, so I do have a few worksheets for Evalynn to do, but for the rest of the kids, again, I go back to my curriculum book here, and so we just do the math out of here. There's enough math almost to do math every day, but I do have a supplement math book as well, and so we'll be working through that. Next we have French shows. So this is going to be videos, some from YouTube, some from DVDs that I have, where the kids will just watch French. And the main point of this is that they'll be able to listen to someone else speak French with the pronunciation and the other vocabulary I may not use. For me, it's a time when I can prep lunch. So they'll watch a French show. They'll also write down French verbs or just practice writing in general on these wonderful chalkboards that I found actually at Michael's. And so they'll just be able to draw and write on those, and then we'll roll into lunch. Right after lunch, we'll head back outside. They'll have break play. I do need to get back inside very quickly because I need to put Magdalynn down for her nap, and then we go into science. So I'll show you our science book, but also this is when we'll be doing chore learning, practice, life lessons, prepping for supper, anything that I feel that the big kids especially should learn or should know to help me out, or just to give them life skills in general. That's when we'll be doing it. So the science that I have is this science book here, and so I do go a little bit more in depth in our unboxing video, which I'll link right above as well as below, so you can see I pulled out all the books and we pulled out all the stuff for all the experiments. I'm really excited about it. It is a grade 5 edition. However, knowing my kids, we'll be able to do it even with my kindergartner. I may make it a little bit simpler for her, but she'll be able to do it right along with us, so I'm very excited about that. So science, we can do it every day. We'll just see how the science goes. And so after science, that is the end of our book learning. And then it just rolls into sort of what we do typically as a family. This is when we have dessert. We have some outside time as well. So having dessert at 3 o'clock would certainly be odd to most folks. For us, it just works, because if we wait until we have dessert after supper, the kids don't sleep. It takes forever to put them down. There's just that influx of sugar, even if it's just fruit. And so we have our dessert time earlier, usually ice cream or cake or pie or whatever we have available. That's when they get their dessert. It's also nice because then they can have that boost of sugar, and we send them outside and they go and play. And even if you are not a homeschooler, do you remember when you get off the bus and you would be so tired at the end of school, you needed that little bit of pick-me-up? Well, that's when we would have our dessert time. So it all just, we get dessert sort of at that low point of the day. We go back outside, we get re-energized by just being outside and getting a little bit of something sweet to last us the day. Then right after that, we do our showtime. That's when the kids get screen time. They can be on the computer, play games, they can watch a video, whatever they would like. That's their time. So during their showtime, that's also my downtime. I really need that 1 hour just to spend time on my own, because I've been working hard all day. So that's also mom time. Then at 5 o'clock, everyone helps me clean up. We tidy the house. We start to prep supper, all that good stuff. So that's clean up and helping mom. Then we have supper, and then we head back outside. This always happens after supper. We just all want to get some fresh air, just the last of our energies out. And then we head inside where we can watch a show. We can do some board games. We can just have family time. This is also more when baths would happen. We don't have bath every day for the kids, but this is when bath time would happen. And then between 7:30 and 9, depending on the kid, that is bedtime. We have 5 kids, as I mentioned at the beginning, and so at 7:30, that's when we start our youngest. We start putting them to bed, and then we slowly work through, and by 9 o'clock, that's when my oldest, he's 10, grade 5, that's his bedtime. He also needs so very little sleep. He's been like that since he was a baby. He was always on the lower end of sleeping, so he only needs 9, maybe 10 hours of sleep a night, which is barely more than what I need, but that's just the way he is. And so if they're not getting prepped for bedtime with mommy and daddy, that's when they'll be doing their reading time. So that's when, if I assign any reading for Jackson or Brooklyn, they'll be able to go into their rooms and they can do their assigned reading or just spend time in their rooms just relaxing before they go to bed. So in the day, we'll be able to get done writing, French or English, reading, math, science every single day. And if you're keeping track, if we're able to be outside every time that is potential, we'll spend 5.5 hours outside every single day. So if we can just do half that, like even just 2.5 hours a day, that is so exciting. That's really my goal, is to be outside as much as possible. But if you'll notice, this is our Monday to Thursday schedule. So our big difference is Friday is our more relaxed day. So we still have the same time frame. So we still would go outside at the same times, have lunch at the same time. But we also do art. So this is an amazing book we've been doing called Great Artists. We've been working through it. I absolutely love it. And this year we're also adding Teach Art to Children. So it is a little more basic, I find, than this, but they still have artists that you can copy at the back here. At the front is a little more of an introduction to art, you know, what are primary colors, what are secondary colors. This book doesn't so much go into that. That's more just the activity of the art. So this is a very exciting book that we're going to be doing. And Friday is also our library day or our play date day or go to the park day or anything like that, any fun activity. That's what we do on Friday. So Friday is just more fun, more relaxed. Yeah, it's a great day, Friday. And on top of this schedule, we also have our goal to achieve 1,000 hours outside in our glorious forest, as well as at the park and anywhere else that is outside. And so we are working towards that goal. We will also be working towards many other goals, which I'm excited to share with you very soon, starting in September. We are hoping to have a challenge, probably 2 challenges a month, where you can join us in the challenge. We did the barefoot challenge through the summer, and that went so exceedingly well. So many of you joined us and just left comments, and I absolutely love that you joined us and enjoyed that challenge. So we're going to be implementing even more challenges that you can come along and do with us. It'll be part of getting outside, part of getting into nature, just challenging yourself and your kids and just having a blast doing it. So please join us for this school year 2019-2020. I am so excited. So much is going to happen, and friends, I will see you there. I will be going into detail all the books and all the curriculum that we use, so be sure to look for those videos. I'll link them down below once they're out. So I have a grade 5, a grade 3, and an SK student, and so I'll link all that down below. I promise. Look for those videos. So how do you organize your homeschool? Are you much tighter and more scheduled than us? Are you more relaxed than us? How do you do your homeschool? Please let me know down in the comments below. And I hope, if anything, we've given you some insight into how we run our homeschool, and maybe something that you could implement in your homeschool. I will see you next time in the forest. Bye!